Welcome to the Hardcore Closer Podcast. I'm Ryan Stewman, founder of HardcoreCloser.com, and this podcast is all about helping you, the salesperson, close more sales. And look, whether you're selling cars, homes, financial services, consulting, whatever it is that you sell, this podcast is dedicated to help you generate higher quality leads, increase your closing ratios, and show you how to charge premium fees for the items you sell so you can get paid what you're worth. What's up, Closer Nation? Welcome to episode 80 of the Hardcore Closer Podcast. And I am so glad that you're here. If it's your first time, be sure to check out the previous episodes. I don't know when in the future you're listening to this. There's at least 79 other ones. And then also, I need you to do me the ultimate favor, the ultimate I love your show, Ryan, like the ultimate display of reciprocity, the ultimate show of affection for the ultimate show on sales, which is leave me a review on iTunes. Listen, here's the thing. I'm trying to reach 300 million salespeople. In order to do that, one of the biggest outlets for us to get this word, this message, the things that I'm going to share with you today, right, which is going to be huge, by the way, which is huge every week. But this time, I've got some really good stuff for you. So listen, the way that I get this out is by people leaving us reviews, people sharing this with folks. And so I'm asking you, go to iTunes, type in, go to the podcast icon on your iPhone, hit podcast, hit my show, hit review, leave me a 5-star review. Hey, you know what? Leave me a 1-star review. I don't write it down, take a picture. I don't give a fuck. Just make sure that you leave me a review on there because every review counts. Right here, we got one. It's Regional Sales Director by Jordan McCallum. He says, Southern Ohio Retirement Group, 1-800-351-1396. Double your retirement dollars guaranteed. Ryan has provided me relevant real-world content that's brought our clients value, our agents excitement, and confidence. If you don't listen to what Ryan brings, then that's your own peril. Dude, see, now this is how you know Jordan McCallum listens, because he says, like, the first part of his review, Southern Ohio Retirement Group, 1-800-351-1396. So obviously he is in the retirement planning and wants you to look at your retirement benefits. But think about that. Not only did he just get his advertisement read on the air for free, I got a review out of that. Like, you hook me up, I will hook you up. You got to know that, like, Jordan's obviously paid attention to our shows because he says, hey, you know what? Always be closing, always be selling, even in his reviews. And I read it. So if you want some airtime on here, then you need to leave me a 5-star review too. Make sure you follow Jordan McCallum. And shout out to Jordan. Appreciate the 5-star review. So before we get into the show, I want to talk to you a little bit about the power of investing in yourself. There's been plenty of times in my life where I've had money, not had money again, fuck that up, not had money, then got a little bit more money, fuck that up too, right? And a lot of you, holler if you hear me, you feel it? A lot of you have been there as well. You know, it's like you get up and you get down. Now, in the book of Proverbs, not a religious person, but in the book, there's a lot of wisdom in the book of Proverbs. In the book of Proverbs, it said, money that is gathered quickly spreads wings and flies away even faster. And as salespeople, we know all about, like, money coming and money going. You get a big ass paycheck on Friday, all your bills are due because you had a shitty paycheck last month and you got to pay them all. And you're like, dude, I just put this big ass check that I got into the bank and it's already gone. Money comes and goes. But here's what I know. The money that you spend on yourself lasts forever. In 2010, I lost my mortgage job and I wasn't sure what I was going to do. I tried multi-level marketing. I tried affiliate marketing. And while I made a little money at both of them, they really weren't my thing. It wasn't something that I was passionate about. And I swore to myself a long time ago, I would only sell something I was 100% passionate about. And the reason why I'm 100% passionate about sales is all the times that I've been divorced, in prison, and everything else, sales has been the one thing to pat me on the back and say, I'm the only thing you fucking got, motherfucker. Get back up and go get more of me. And I share that with you because in 2013, I was at another one of those all-time lows. It's really hard to track what an all-time low for me is because I've been down to rock bottom, pulled a jackhammer along with me, beat the shit out of the rocks that were there to find out what was underneath rock bottom. I'm fucking telling you, I've been lower than fucking low. My grandma used to say, he's lower than a snake's belly. I've been lower than the dirt under the grass under a snake's belly. I have hit rock bottom. And in 2013, maybe it's 2012, right towards the end. It was like either December of 12 or 13. Doesn't matter. I was going through a thing, and I was at one of those rock bottoms. I was living with my in-laws. I was essentially unemployed. I'd been ripped off by two useless fucks of business partners, which would be a recurring theme up until that point because I do all the work, they reap all the benefits. Not today, motherfuckers. And I had no money, none. Hence why I lived with my in-laws. I might have been making a few $1,000s a month, but hell, it cost me every dollar that I had coming in just to be able to feed my family, pay my bills, and advertise so I could grow. It's a fucking nightmare. A man that was once a millionaire now living with his fucking in-laws explaining to people how the fuck I lost it all. Could you imagine? Some of you can imagine. Some of you are fucking listening to this right now going through the same shit. It gets better. I worked through it. You'll work through it. The only way that if you give up and decide to live there forever is the only way you will. But in 2012, I decided to invest $8,000 that I didn't have into myself. $8,000 is a lot of money back then. Hell, it's a lot of money now. But it was a hell of a lot of money back then. It might as well have been 80,000, 800,000, 8 million. It didn't matter. It was more than I had. So what I ended up doing was I went and hustled a couple contracts, flipped a few pieces of real estate, came up with the $8,000, invested in myself. And within the first month, I made $20,000. It had been the first month I'd made $20,000 in over 2 years. And it continued to grow from there. And out of that $8,000 investment, I created something called Break Free Academy, which now does millions of dollars in annual sales. We regularly fill events with 75 people at $5,000 a pop, which 10 or 15 will go on to pay $30,000 to work with us for an entire year. And I share that with you because when I invested in myself, here's what I thought. Ryan, you spent money that you worked for that you didn't have to give up. You invested in yourself. That means I believe in you, son. That means I know you can do it because you could have took this $8,000 and smoked crack. You could have took this $8,000 and blew it on some real estate investment. You could have took $8,000 and went to Vegas and gambled at the craps table, but you didn't, Ryan. You took this $8,000 and invested in yourself. You must think you're a bad motherfucker. Let's find out. That's that self-talk that was going on inside my head. And whether you realize it or not, subconsciously, when you make an investment in yourself, you're betting that you will take the information that you attain and turn it into action that you can profit from. That's all it is. And it takes a person of confidence, just like believing that your hand is the best when you're playing a game of poker. And so I'm going to offer you to make an investment that's significantly cheaper than $8,000, but it's going to be the best investment you could possibly make in yourself. Whether you're looking to be more personally developed and have that fuck your excuses attitude, whether you're looking to become a better salesperson, whether you're looking at how to make sales funnels and generate leads automatically online 24/7 and create the sequences and auto responses to basically put your entire sales business on autopilot, or whether you're looking for leadership skills, whether you're looking to network with a group that's full of millionaires and multiple six-figure per year earners, or whether you're just looking for a place to belong, I can provide all of that for you. It's just a matter of what you want and whether you're willing to garner up the confidence to invest in yourself. Consider this my invitation to Break Free Academy Entourage. The types of people in our experience, the types of people that listen to this show are the types of people that come into our program, take action, and never look back. Last month, one of our Entourage clients told me for $3,000, he generated 700 leads, took 22 sales, which will equate to about $60,000 in profit from a $3,000 ad spend. And now you might say today, I don't got $3,000, Ryan, to spend in ads, but you will if you follow our program. I started with $25 walking out of federal prison. It cost me $5 to cash that $25 paycheck. In 2010, I lost my job, literally 2012, living with my in-laws. But the process that I went through and the experiences that I went through and the experiments that I conducted are all inside of Break Free Academy, the training program, which is a part of Entourage. And you can mimic those same exact steps. And maybe you don't have $3,000 extra dollars right now to spend in ads, but if you got 30, you can get started. The first thing I would invite you to do is go sign up over at breakfreeacademy.com/entourage. You can get all the program details. Listen, sign up for a year. Go ahead and pay the whole year up front. First of all, it saves you 30%. Second of all, that just shows that you're committed. That's that confidence in yourself that you're committed for the entire year. Listen, it's tax deductible. We're going to send you stuff in the mail. We're going to constantly update it. You're going to be in a network where you can make money, instant sales from just being a part of this. This is a badge of honor when you join us over at the Entourage. So make sure you go to breakfreeacademy.com/entourage. Let's jump into the episode. Y'all ready for this content? We got to pay the bills first. You know what I'm saying? We got to pay the bills first, but I'm not ashamed to pitch an advertisement. I'm fucking proud of the Break Free Academy Entourage and the things that the people inside of there are accomplishing and the ways that they're making things happen and the business that's being traded. I'm fucking proud of it. So I got no shame in pitching it to you. And if you become a part of it, you'll be fucking proud of it too. Because when you see what I've built, you'll be amazed. So, all right, let's get back into the episode here. I get a little passionate about some of the stuff that we worked on all of the stuff that we worked on. So today I want to talk about the 5 biggest mistakes I've made while building my business. You know, I just mentioned it that I had left federal prison in 2008 with $25 to my name. And this year we'll do somewhere between $4 and $6 million, depending on how the end of the year goes, because we are definitely ramping up and consistently growing, and we're in a momentum phase in this business. But what happened between 2008 and we'll call it 2018, because we're pretty close to 2018 happening. But what happened in that decade, and what were some of the biggest mistakes that I've made, and what were some of the biggest lessons I've learned from? And now when I created the notes on this for you guys, I wanted to set it up in a way that it wasn't the same old. And I don't want to say the same old bullshit, because I don't think it's bullshit, but I didn't want to say something that you've heard before. You know, that's one of the hard things about my job is I say things that are outside of the box. I go and I watch some of these other motivational gurus and entrepreneur motivators and stuff, and they're like Captain Obvious trapped in a video. It's like, you want to make more money? You got to hustle. Like, well, no shit. You want to make more money? Just put in the time. Well, no shit. Listen, you want to do some sales? You got to be motivated. Well, no shit. I didn't want to create lists of 5 things for you to be about building my business. Is like, you know, always hustle. Yeah, biggest mistake I made was I wasn't hustling enough, right? I'm not trying to be like those folks. I'm here. I'm going to talk to you about the 5 biggest mistakes I made. And they're the mistakes that a lot of people make, but a lot of people don't own up or even comprehend that they're making these mistakes. And so I try to dig down to like personal mistakes, not necessarily business mistakes. If you want to read about some of the crazy mistakes that I've made, you can go to Amazon and get my book, Bulletproof Business. Not only is it fucking hilarious, it's also it has to be hilarious, because when you take a situation as bad as I was in that book and the lesson I learned from it, there has to be an element of humor to it, or people would just feel fucking sorry and depressed for me. So let's get into 5 biggest mistakes. Number 1, not asking for help. You know, this has been a big problem for me my entire life. And one time I went through a program called Wake Up Warrior, and they had us do some interesting exercises, to say the least, right? And on each exercise, you could have asked somebody for help. That wasn't against the rules. And the other dudes that were doing the exercise, let's say there was 4 or 5 people going through the program with me. The other dudes that were doing the exercise would ask for help and would ask for a pass and all these other things. And I never did. And about 6 years later, after I went through, about 4 years later, after I went through the Wake Up Warrior program, I was having a spiritual journey in the mountains in Utah. And again, one of the leader there says, you know, you have a problem asking for help. And my whole entire life, I never felt like anybody really wanted to help me. I always felt like, and my wife says she feels like this too, I always felt like people were like, Ryan's a pretty sharp dude. He'll figure it out on his own. And that conditioned me from a young man. I grew up in a town of 1,500 people until I was about 7 or 8 years old. And in that town of 1,500 people, I would just roam the pasture. I would ride horses when I wanted to. 5, 6, 7 years old, I'd go get on a horse. I'd go fishing on my own. By the time I was 10, I owned a shotgun. I'd go shoot it whenever I want because we lived on land. My parents left me at home in kindergarten. So after kindergarten, I would ride my bike from the elementary school over to my house, and I would just lock the front door and stay in there. When I was 6 years old, or 7 years old, I went to our home and it was on fire, and I went inside to make sure I could rescue my stepdad and my little sister. I've just never been one to ask for help. I've always been the helper, not the helpee. And in the business world, I haven't asked for help. I don't have joint venture partners. I don't have guys like the big internet gurus promoting me. And matter of fact, oftentimes I take the position of being the opponent of the same people that could help me. And it's just because that's what I got used to. It's meant to be, it's up to me. I got that self mentality. But here's what I do know. When I was on that spiritual journey in Utah, they offered me some apples with peanut butter. Now, mind you, I hadn't eaten for 2 days. I'd been poisoned. I'd almost died twice. It was a crazy experience. And they offered me food that I didn't get myself. And I was like, no, I'm going to be okay. And he said, take the food, Ryan. You have to learn to accept help. Well, the problem is I come from a society to where if someone helped me, and they have in the past, if someone's helped me, they always want something from me. And that's a prison thing. It comes from my family thing too. And it's a big, huge mistake I made while building my business. There's people all the time that offer to help me with my website, make it better, help it faster, help me with ClickSo, help me with my membership sites, help me with my ads. And these folks don't want any money. They just want to be a part of what I'm doing. And I always turn them down because I don't like accepting help, because I feel like I'm going to owe somebody. You'll find that's a recurring theme in this show today. But meanwhile, what if those folks would have helped me? Right? What if I would have accepted all the help along the way? How much further would I be? Sure, I might owe a few people things, but maybe they didn't want. Maybe they want. Maybe I'm the reciprocal thinker. Because here's what I know. I've had to cut off in the last couple of weeks a lot of people that were one-way relationships. I sent one guy $100,000 worth of business. I asked him to join our $297 a month program, and he said he couldn't afford it. And then turned around and asked me to send him more referrals. I sent another guy $50,000 worth of business. He never even mentions me to anybody when they ask for help in what I do. It's almost as if it's like their churches. They got no problem taking my money, but they awfully ashamed to be associated with me. You go to church, you see drug dealers and everything else, and the preacher don't hang out with the drug dealer, but he take the checks from them. And the reason why I share that with you, though, is there's a lot of one-sided relationships out there. And I look at them as one-sided because if you do something for me, I want to do something for you. I got a client, Kenneth Travis. He sent me about 20 referrals. I have tried to send him as many referrals as possible. Not because I want to even the scale, because that's not what he's looking for anyway. He knows the program's beneficial to the people he's referred us. That's not the issue. But for me, I respect the fact that he sent me referrals, so I want to send him referrals. I'm loyal to those who are loyal to me. But the thing is, when I'm trying to help somebody and I don't ask them for help, they just assume that I'm a conduit to feed them. It's like a stray cat. You keep feeding the stray cat, it just comes back. You don't ever ask the cat for food because he can't produce it. But then one day you get frustrated that the motherfucking cat keeps showing up expecting food. And maybe you don't have time to grocery shop and get some cat food this week. And so one of the biggest mistakes that I've made is not asking for help, because I expect a one-way relationship. And if I helped somebody, if somebody helped me, I'd feel like they could hit me up and I'd owe them. Number 2, being hard-headed. This has a lot to do with number 1. But being hard-headed, again, it's the I want to do things my way, which is considered the right way to me, right? It may not be considered the right way to you. But there's been ample times when I could have skirted around this, that, or the other, or taken this risk or taken this chance to come up big, but my hard head just wouldn't let me do it. I remember when the big scraping software was going around on Facebook. Everybody was like, oh, you got to get this scraping software. Oh, you got to get this scraping software. And I kept thinking, man, I'd love to get that shit. And I see people add millions of folks to their fan pages using this thing. But man, I just feel like Facebook's going to shut it down and we're all going to be in trouble if we used it. 3 months later, Facebook shut all those pages down of the people that used it, considered them fake. So being hard-headed saved me, but at the same time, people tried to correct me over the years, give me advice, and some of it very valuable, but my hard head wouldn't accept it. When it comes to doing things the hard way, there could be an easier way. Like Abraham Lincoln says, if he was given 6 hours to chop down a tree and spend the first 4 sharpening their axe, I'd just go to swinging. That's part of being hard-headed. We're hard-headed. We'll just power through it. We'll just go to swinging. Being hard-headed hasn't served me. You know, it's one of those things, hard-headed, not asking for help. They go hand in hand. Someone offers me help, I'm hard-headed and reject it because I don't want to owe them. What kind of shit is that? So number 1, not asking for help. Number 2, being hard-headed. Number 3, self-funding from cash only. Now, this is a weird thing. You know, I don't like owing a debt, just like I don't like owing a debt to somebody who might have helped me. And again, this has a lot to do with being hard-headed, but I've self-funded my entire business from cash. So I don't have, in other words, Hardcore Closer and Break Free Academy and Your Free Alarm and Clixo and Wolfman Assets and Alpha Equity Partners are all cash debt-free companies. Now, that's a hard-headed way of doing things because I have good credit. You know, a lot of people that run cash-only businesses have shit credit. I have good business plan and good credit, good cash reserves, like all the stuff that you're supposed to be able to get bank help. But for some reason, I don't like the debt. And so I've self-funded this whole thing. I could have grown this business at 100 times the rate had I simply filled out an application at a bank and not paid cash only. At this point, like, we got the money, it is what it is. But along the way, I wish that I would have applied for a business loan. Even if it would have been 20 or 100 grand, it would have helped out. And you know, instead of starting with, you know, nothing, when I basically started this business, I could have went in with a business plan and got a loan and at least had something to get me started. And it would have, that something could have springboarded me to new heights where we are now. And I regret that now looking back. Some of the most wealthy people that you know that you follow on the internet, you know, my friends that have tons of money, they have tons of money through credit and banks, where I have done this through cash, which is a hard-headed way. And it's a mistake that I made because, you know, had I been building this the entire time, I might have a $5 million line of credit with a bank somewhere, because that's probably the equivalent of what we should have by the amount of revenue that we knew. So if you're self-funding from cash only, you got good credit, then you need to go really talk to a bank, talk to a broker who can get you a loan. Don't overpay for it, but you'd be surprised what a loan can do for you. If you got bad credit, hit my man Billy Alt up with 700creditrepair.com. 700, the numbers 700creditrepair.com. He can help you out. Number 4, I didn't hire fast enough. You know, I started this business in 2010. It would be till 2014 before I hired my first salesperson. And it was the end of 2014. In 2015, we had our first 6-figure month, and we came close to our first 7-figure year. Close, like just missed it. And I remember thinking, why in the hell didn't I hire salespeople before? I mean, that's what I train. That's what I've been doing, is teaching people how to be better salespeople. That's what I do, is generate leads. Why didn't I hire help before? And I regret that, because now we have 5 salespeople. Well, let me recount that we got those 3. Yep, 5 salespeople. And those 5 salespeople generate hundreds of thousands of dollars in revenue every single month for this company. And I waited 4 long years before I hired help. But I look at my friends that make the most money, and they've leveraged humans, right? They've hired people and leveraged them to pick their weak spots. Basically we're a wood barrel with holes in it filled up with water, and the water's pulling out of these holes. You need to hire people to plug each one of those holes. And now I'm quick to hire somebody. Somebody can offer me value, and I think I can profit from the work that they're doing. Boom, we're in. I've got I've got 16 people working for me right now. So you think about that. 2 years ago, I had one person working for me, my admin assistant, Lindsay, and now I've got 16 just 2 years later. Tell me that hiring one person wasn't a domino effect to having a whole team working. And now we've also, we're on track to have a 7-figure month before long. We keep getting close. Number 5, and this goes back to number 1, number 2, is not trusting those who wanted to help. There's people all the time that offer me help, and I refuse it. I don't like asking for it, nor do I like taking it and accepting it. Because I always feel like somebody's going to hit me with the, you owe me, son. You owe me. Remember that favor I did for you? I grew up in the dope game. If somebody did you a favor, you could bet your ass you were going to have to return it. Yo, I saved you from the cops, man. I need you to go shoot this house up. Not even kidding. That's the kind of world that I lived in prisons. Yo, I saved that dude from raping you. You got to go stab this other motherfucker for me now. And I don't want to get caught up in all that stuff. So I just learned not to accept help. It's like, again, my whole mantra inside my head that I'm trying to break over and over again is, if it's meant to be, it's up to me. Because that's not true. If it's meant to be, it's going to take a team. Because if you can do it yourself, it's probably not fucking worth doing. I went a long ways by myself. It fucking sucked. It's a lot better with the team. I went from working in the common area of my apartment to having a corner office, mind you, in one of the nicest buildings in North Dallas. Matter of fact, it's the nicest building in North Dallas because I looked at all of them. But I got here without people giving me handouts, right? I never wanted to feel like I got something that I didn't deserve, or I got something that I didn't pay for. I never wanted to be the dude that's like, yo, I got this shit for free. Like, I see salespeople brag all the time. Oh, I beat the car salesman down. I basically got this car for free. Really? Really? You feel proud about that? You feel proud about that? You beat somebody down? You took a handout from somebody? See, I don't feel proud about that. I want to feel like I earned and deserve everything that I get. And by deserve, I don't mean entitled. I mean deserve as in I earned that motherfucker. I deserve it. And when people help me, it's been a bad mentality, a big mistake that I've made, to want to do shit on my own and refuse their help. But I'm learning lately. I'm learning. There's a screening process, but I'm learning to trust more. So like I said, I wanted to give you a list of 5 things that were a little different outside of the box you probably never heard before. And a lot of these have to do with number 2 being hard-headed. But I'm also the kind of man that when I built a foundation and created the principles to stand on, I stood on. But as we progress, hit momentum, and level up in life and business, sometimes we have to adjust those principles from focusing on just ourselves and our own issues to focusing on the greater good, our clients, our employees, and so on and so forth. So let me give you the quick bullet points again. Number 1, biggest mistake I made in business, not asking for help. Number 2, biggest mistake I made in business, my own worst enemy, being hard-headed. Number 3, self-funding from cash only. I should have borrowed it from a bank. Number 4, not hiring help fast enough. Really, this one should be number 1 in my opinion. I should have made that number 1, but these really aren't in any random or any specific chirotic or chronographic order. They're just there. So, and number 5, not trusting those who offered help. Those are the 5 biggest mistakes I've made while building this multiple 7-figure per year business. Maybe my hard-headedness and my mistakes can be your springboards and learning curves. Listen, if you'd like to learn more about sales, get over to elevatortothetop.com and grab a free copy, a paperback copy, not no ebook, Not no bullshit, like a free paperback copy of my best-selling book on sales, Elevator to the Top. Again, go over to elevator to the top.com, elevator with the cock.com, elevator to the top.com, and claim your free copy now. Also, you can get the show notes and everything else at hardcorecloser.com, or you can go to podcast only at closerpodcast.com. And don't forget, damn it, leave me a review on iTunes and share this with somebody you love. It's a lot. I just gave you a list of demands. Like, who the fuck am I to give you a list of demands? I'm the host. It's called the law of reciprocation. Go reciprocate, son. Later.